Hello and welcome to another Gamertech product review. In this video we're going to be taking a little look at the ROCCAT Kone Plus gaming mouse. And that's classed as the max customization gaming mouse, and there's quite a few extra cool things in this mouse which you won't find in quite a lot of the other ones on the market, which really do kind of set it out from the crowd. A lot of that is software based as well. The gear that comes in with this, not including the mouse, so that the discs and things, really there's some really cool things on there. So we'll go through there a little bit in a bit. But for now, let's just check out the box itself and see what we've kind of got, the standard hardware features of the mouse. So there's the box, there's the mouse, there's the box. So it's got a four-way wheel, so you've got roll it forward, roll it back, and then left and side flicky bits. You've got your sensitivity adjustment on the mouse. It's got soft touch surfaces. It's got 8 buttons in total, but it actually can do 22 functions, so we'll get into that a little bit later on of what that is. Oh, there we go. You've got there's lights on there. The core, or the processor, is 72 megahertz, which is cool. It has got onboard memory, so all your macros, they do save to the mouse itself as opposed to in the software. So if you put the mouse into like another PC which you're using, it will still do the things that you want it to do. But the cool things that this has got, first of all, you've got the TDCU, which stands for Tracking and Distance Control Unit. You've got the Easy Shift functionality, and you've also got all the wonderful macro software stuff all kind of integrated into it as well. Now that is quite software heavy, so you'll probably have to just bear with me on that, but just believe and trust everything that I say, okay? Yeah, cool, wicked. Right, so let's just whip it out and have a look at the goodies that lay inside the box. Why not, eh? Righty, so here we are. Got the mouse kind of pretty much out of the packaging. There's your little pack, which has all your software disc, well, your software and your manual and everything. So we'll open that up in a second. Just leave that down at the side for now. Bit of paper, very important. And there we go. Hooray! So here is the mouse now itself. Now I've accidentally just turned my computer on, which won't be too much of an issue because at least now I've accidentally turned it back on. I can plug this in and show you how it lights up and looks all pretty. So, you know, good situation, have a bad situation. Just ignore the background humming noises and it'll be fine, okay? So, let's put the mouse there for now. Also, what comes in the box, you get this little weight box thing, which unfortunately fell on the floor when I got it out, so fell everywhere. So it's your little ROCCAT weight box, and you've got 4 5-gram weights in there, which are here. So you can increase the weight of your mouse by 20 grams in total, which is a lot. It's a nice amount. It's a good figure. So if you do like a heavy mouse, then you're going to like this mouse because it's heavy, or it can be heavy. I generally found it's quite a heavy mouse to start off with anyway. So it's kind of personal choice if you want to put the extra weights in or not. But yeah, it's not like, because there's so much stuff in it, I guess, is the reason why it's already a bit of a portly mouse. And that's where the weights go, in the little holy bit in there. And there's a lovely little spinny latch thing on, which tends to fall off quite easily if there isn't any weights in there. So if there isn't any weights in there at all, I'd probably leave this in the box or keep it somewhere safe, just because it does like to fall off a bit. But if there's a weight in there, I guess it puts extra pressure on that bit and that holds it on. So good, yeah, it's good. There's a weight in there. So looking at we'll save the mouse for now and we'll go to the software. So let's just whip this open. Now the software is really, really good. It works brilliantly. It's really easy to use. It's quite self-explanatory, which is good. Just trying to, there we go. And it doesn't come with the software in there. You download it from ROCCAT. There we go. We got there eventually. Yeah, there's a little... The cool thing is, though, there's a ROCCAT ID card, which you can put on the ROCCAT website and register it up. But when you do plug the mouse in, it'll ask you to download the drivers and things. But at least it does tell you on here where to get them and how to use it all. So that's a bonus, isn't it? You know, you gotta be careful. You can't just spend all your money putting discs in everything. It's all about digital downloads nowadays anyway. If they did put software in there, we would be like, whoa, you know, why are you putting the disc in there? Maybe. I probably would have preferred a disc, to be honest. But it doesn't matter, and now I can't get back in there, so that's just going to go over there for now. Right, time to look at the mouse. Now, it is ergonomically designed when it has got soft touch grippy stuff on there, which is really comfortable. And you have got the ROCCAT logo there as well, which is also quite pretty. And I'm just going to quickly whack it into a USB port so you can see the lights on there. So while it installs it and gets it recognised, there we go. It's some lovely blue LED lighting on there. Now with the software you can change it to a whole rainbow and array of lovely pretty colours. But I'm just going to leave it on the blue as there now for you. But yeah, there's an LED in each corner, so you could have it like purple glowing through into red, or blue glowing through into like a darker blue, or a yellow or green or something like that. However you want your coloured mouse to be coloured to, you could colour it to that with colour, which is brilliant. So I'm just going to undo that for now. Now, I did say earlier you've got the TDCU thing. Now, what TDCU is the Tracking and Distance Control Unit. Now, the Tracking Control Unit pretty much is when your mouse is on your mouse pad, like that, if you have your tracking control really low, then when you kind of like move your mouse up and away, you only have to move it up a little bit for the laser to then not start to not recognise the mouse mat anymore. So it means if you have a low sensitivity and you keep taking your mouse off the mouse mat because you have to like put your arm half the distance across the table, then as soon as you pick it up, the mouse stops accepting any input. And if you have a high sensitivity, you can have the distance, like, it doesn't really matter because your mouse doesn't leave the table because you only need about 3 inches square to use. But that's a really cool feature, and I actually found that quite interesting. My only kind of concern was, or question was, why didn't they just have it really low anyway? But then the smarties came across and said, if you were going to use something like the SteelSeries Glide MS sticky pad things for your mouse, or if you had a glass mouse mat, or if you had like a thick plastic one, sometimes with those pads the lasers don't go down enough. So depending on what surface you're using, that is actually quite a handy feature. So if I just use kind of fabric pads and things because they're quite nice to lean on, and they pick up the lasers quite good. But yeah, if you're using like a glass pad or a thick plastic one, then it's quite a handy feature to have. Now you've also got in there is the TDCU, obviously. So you've got the tracking control unit, and then you've also got the distance control unit, and then you've got the tracking control unit. Now what the tracking control unit does is there's actually one of the things in there, this camera or laser or whatever it is. It's a 6000 DPI laser, by the way. While I'm here, 6000 DPI, so it's very, very sensitive, and it's really good because it's 6000 DPI. Anyway, tracking control unit, back on track. The little thing in there, it takes an image of your mouse surface. So if you're using a fabric surface, if you're using a glass surface, if you're using a hard plastic surface, if you're using a fabric surface, it will find out, or it will be able to tell what surface you're using and optimize the lasers to work better for that surface, because different surfaces reflect light in different way, and the lasers pick up information differently depending on what the surface is. Apparently, that's what scientists say, and 80% of them agree, probably, or maybe more. But this will tell what surface it is and make the lasers work even better for you. So if you're moving just a tiny bit, then it will pick that up. If you're moving a lot, then it's going to pick it up because it's a lot, but it's more accurate, which is really, really good. The scroll wheel is nice and solid, and it's quite clicky as well. So it is quite a clicky one. So I quite like it because I don't really like smooth ones. They're rubbish. And you've got your plus and up and down there. You've also got an extra little button at the top there, which is that little bit there, and that's a nice little extra. I don't really use it too much, but it's nice to have it there. By default, it's the start menu, so I like to press that when I need the start menu, as you do. So, and the other cool thing, which we said about earlier, the easy shift and the macro setting stuff. Now all of this is based in the software, but what the easy shift is, which you may be aware of, if not, then prepare to learn something. Every mouse on there has got its own kind of functionality, so scroll up, scroll down, press down, left and right. There's 5 functions there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now what the easy shift does, as a standard thing, that the forward on your browser is easy shift. Press easy shift and it swaps the mouse over to secondary functions for every single thing on the mouse. And all of that is controlled through the software. So say you're, I don't know, say you're playing Call of Duty 4 and you've got left click set as fire, yeah? If you were then running around, you could have it set up so when you press the easy shift button, when you left click, instead of it firing, it throws a grenade or something. That's the kind of thing it does. Or the way I like to use it is, everything on the mouse is normal, and then when I press the easy shift button, if I scroll forward, it puts the volume of my media player up. If I scroll backwards, it puts the volume of my media player down. If I do that to the left, it does the previous track. If I do that to the right, it does the next track. However, when I'm playing in game, that stuff doesn't happen. You have to press that button to make it different. So essentially it turns 8 buttons into 22 functions, which is really, really good, especially if you're playing like an MMO or something like that. There is also presets on the mouse for MMOs. It says about it on the box what these features actually do and things, which is wicked. So if you are playing an MMO, you can get those Razer mouse, which has got like 12 thumb buttons. But 12 thumb buttons, really? I mean, I've not played with one, but it's going to be a lot of buttons for you to be thumbing around with. Whereas with this one, it's 22 buttons, just all on the mouse there. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like I played a bit of WoW, didn't really like it. What else did I play? Played some Silk Road, some Long, some Boy. I usually get bored up until level 20. But, you know, it's good. You know, 22 buttons in a little mouse. It's good. And it's comfortable to use in your hand. And, yeah, it's just really, it's a lovely mouse. One of the concerns I have, I think it's probably the only concern that I've come across using this mouse, is that with the Kone, the original Kone, there was an issue with the scroll wheel of after a while the scroller wouldn't work properly. You'd scroll down, it would jump and kind of go up and down. With the Kone Plus, unfortunately, I've had the same problem with my one. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be the same thing with everyone else's Kone Plus, but looking around on forums and seeing the chatter on YouTube and, you know, just everywhere else on the internet, I've seen a lot of people with the same problem. Now, one of the solutions that people have, if you do have this mouse or if you're thinking about getting it, one of the common solutions that people are using is by squirting a little bit of WD-40 in at the side, just on the axle bit. So you've got the wheel, that's the bit the wheel connects to the mouse on, just in the bit in there. If you put a bit of oil in there, apparently that's supposed to fix it. I've not tried it myself yet, so I'll probably do another video trying that if I don't get oil everywhere, because I'm pretty crap at that kind of stuff. But if it fixes it, then hooray. But at the minute, that's my only kind of gripe with it. And it's supposed to be an issue which they've kind of resolved, but unfortunately, it's still carried on from the original Kone mouse as well, which is a bit of a downer on the mouse, I will admit. But yeah, apart from that, that's kind of like the fullness of the mouse. So I think it's time. Let's pop over to the sofa and check out the sofa summary. Over to you. Sofa summary. So here we are at the sofa summary for the ROCCAT Kone Plus Max Customization Gaming Mouse. Now, what can we really say about it? Now, it is a very good looking mouse. It's got the aesthetics there. It feels really good in your hand. It's ergonomic. It's got the soft touch buttons on there. The scroller is good, but we'll come to that a bit later on again as well. You've got adjustable weights. You've got 6000 DPI. You've got the adjustment on the top here. You've got the extra button. So, as a standard mouse, it is good. It's got everything that it needs to be for a good gaming mouse now. Now, the bits that set it out from the crowd is you've got the TDCU, which is wicked. It's just really handy. It's something which reinforces the fact in you that the laser in here is really high quality. It's 60,000 DPI, like I said before, but it's just a really good quality laser because it's got all of these extra features with it as well. Now, you've got the easy shift functionality. Not really on a huge amount, if any, other mouse there, and the easy shift is for ROCCAT only, and they're also introducing it on other products they've got. So the ISCU keyboard as well. In that case, the mouse the mouse and the keyboard talk to each other, and you can press the easy shift on one, and then both of them will switch shift over, or you can do it on one or whatever. So it's giving ROCCAT giving the keyboard that functionality as well, which is wicked. So that's really cool. The fact that you can set up all your macros with this using all the software. You can change the LED lights, so you can customize the lighting. It's got so many pros going for it. It really has. It's got so much going for it, this mouse. The only gripe I have, like I said earlier, is with the scroll wheel. With the original ROCCAT Kone mouse, they had the scroll wheel issue. They said they were working on it and that they fixed it. However, with the Kone Plus, again, we're having the same scroll wheel issue. Which is, with ROCCAT though, they have been very good, and if you did have the scroll mouse issue, within the ROCCAT warranty, send it back and they would send you another mouse, which is absolutely no problem at all. But it's only that when you can't get to outside the warranty period with it, it becomes a bit of an issue, because you've got, you spent 60-70 quid on, a really high-end gaming mouse, and the scroll wheel goes. Now, there are ways to fix a scroll wheel. Bit of WD-40 apparently does the trick. I'm yet to try that, but when I do, I will let you know how it goes. But if that does fix it, then that will probably increase the rating and give the mouse. Now, the mouse itself, I'd love to give it a higher figure than I'm going to, but it's purely because of the scroll wheel. If you have one and you don't have the problem, then it would have had a higher rating. So I'm going to give the ROCCAT Kone Plus mouse a 7 out of 10, just because it's got so much going on with it. It's an amazing mouse. All the macro stuff, the easy shift stuff. It is brilliant. It's absolutely packed with software features to the brim. The best out of any device I've seen so far. But it's just the fact that it was a known issue, and it's been released with that current issue again as well. So that's the reason why it's dropped a few pegs. If the scroll mouse wasn't faulty, if it came out and didn't have any problems at all, I'd give the mouse a 9. I really, really would, because it's a brilliant mouse to use. It feels great, but because there has the scroll wheel issue, it's gonna have to drop down to a 7, I'm afraid. But apart from that, it's really lovely, and I do really quite like this mouse. But yeah, unfortunately, it's the scroll wheel that's a bit of an issue for me. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been informative and engaging, as that's what we're trying to do, is engage you in the video. And yeah, oh, one more quick note. The mouse cable is quite thick as well, and it's not as easily bendy as I'd like it to be. I really like braided cabling, but I like fabric braided cabling, but but it's a bit thick. It's not too bad, but it's just a little bit thick for my liking. Anyway, saying goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, rate, comment. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Cool. Gamer Tech out.